day everyone, we are Group 8 and we will be reporting Module 8, the Material Economic Self. So, what is materialistic or economic self? The materialistic or economic self refers to the aspect of one's identity shaped by material possessions, financial resources, and economic behaviors. It encompasses how individuals perceive themselves in relation to what they own, their ability to acquire goods, and how they manage finances, all of which influence self-worth, lifestyle choices, and social standing. Materialistic self focuses on the role of tangible items like clothing, gadgets, property, in defining identity and satisfying desires. Economic self emphasizes financial literacy, earning capacity, budgeting, and the practical management of resources to meet needs and goals. According to William James, wrote in 1890, stated that a man's self is the sum total of all that he can call his. This includes his body, family, reputation, but also his clothes and his house, his lands and horse and yacht and bank account. James said back in 1890 that a person's sense of self, who they think they are, includes everything they consider to be theirs. That means not just things like their body, family, and how people see them, but also physical possessions such as clothes, home, land, animals, boats, and money in the bank. A man's self is the sum total of all that he can call his, not only his body and his psychic powers, but his clothes and his house. A person's self extends beyond their physical body and mental capabilities. It includes their possessions, such as their clothes and home, implying that these external items are also integral to one's identity and how they perceive themselves. If they grow, their owner felt triumph, it reflecting pride in their care and nurturing skills. If they faded, people felt a part of themselves was dying, it showing how deeply they emotionally invested in the plant's well-being. All the physical elements that reflect who a person is, maybe possessions, cars, home, body, and clothes, are part of the material self. The material self as encompassing all the physical elements that reflect who a person is. This includes not just possessions like cars and home, but also one's body and clothing. Essentially, it suggests that our physical belongings and even our physical appearance contribute to our sense of self and identity. Think of your material self as that of what you are clothed of. This refers to your physical appearance, clothing choice, and how you present yourself to the world. This choice often communicate aspects of your identity, social status, or personal style. What interests you or are passionate about. While interests and passions are not inherently material, they often manifest through material things. For example, a passion for music might involve owning instruments, attending concerts, or collecting records. A passion for art might involve buying art supplies or visiting galleries. What you spend for. The things you choose to spend your money on, whether it's experience, charity, or possessions, are all external indicators of what you deem important. The material self craves for clothes not only to cover the essential parts of the body, but also to decorate the self. The desire for clothing as part of the material self goes beyond its basic functional purpose of covering the body. It emphasizes that clothes also serve as means to decorate and adorn the self, implying deeply a significant role in self-expression, identity, and how individuals present themselves to the world. All the physical elements that reflect who a person is, maybe possessions, cars, home, body, and clothes, are part of the material self. The material self as encompassing all the physical elements that reflect who a person is. This includes not just possessions like cars and home, but also one's body and clothing. Essentially, it suggests that our physical belongings and even our physical appearance contribute to our sense of self and identity. Think of your material self as that of what you are clothed of. This refers to your physical appearance, clothing choice, and how you present yourself to the world. This choice often communicate aspects of your identity, social status, or personal style. What interests you or are passionate about. While interests and passions are not inherently material, they often manifest through material things. For example, a passion for music might involve owning instruments, attending concerts, or collecting records. A passion for art might involve buying art supplies or visiting galleries. What you spend for. The things you choose to spend your money on, whether it's experience, charity, or possessions, are all external indicators of what you deem important. The material self craves for clothes not only to cover the essential parts of the body, but also to decorate the self. The desire for clothing as part of the material self goes beyond its basic functional purpose of covering the body. It emphasizes that clothes also serve as means to decorate and adorn the self, implying deeply a significant role in self-expression, identity, and how individuals present themselves to the world.
Good day everyone. My name is Judel El Harito, the second reporter of this group. So, evidences behind the idea that monetary can change people. So first we have social and business value. Heyman and early 2004 surmised that there are two motivations for completing a given task. The first is social. By recognizing a task's social value, a person sees it a worthy investment of time and part of his or her social duty, and she is usually happy to help out. When money is offered as the motivation, however, people then start thinking less of social aspect and more about the business value. So we have differences between social and business value. So social value defines when people see a task as social valuable, they consider it as good of use of their time and part of their social responsibility. They are generally happy to help out without expecting money. So, example ng social value, if may kapitbahay ka daw na may sakit at nangailangan ng tulong sa paglilinis ng labas nila or bakuran, kung tutulungan mo sila ng walang hinihinging bayad dahil sa pakikiramay at makakatulong ito sa kanila, masabing mo ito na social value. So, sa business value naman, defines if money is offered as a reward for the task, people tend to focus less on the social aspect and more of the financial business gain. For example naman ito, may kaibigan kang nag-aalok sa'yo ng bayad para linisin ang kanilang labas or bakuran. Dahil labas sila at hindi nila magawa. So kung tatanggapin mo ang trabaho dahil sa pera at kikitain dahil sa dahil sa experience na makukuha mo para mas maging mahusay ka pa sa paglilinis. So, ang primary motivation is the financial benefit or professional advantage of these two. Second is self-sufficiency and services. Those who are conscious of money typically strive to be more self-sufficient than those for whom money isn't priority. When given a very difficult and even impossible task with instruction that help was available, it was the money-related group that seems the most intent to getting the job done alone, even it was not possible to finish the task solo. So, self-sufficiency means being able to take care of yourself and your needs without relying on others. So, example, kung kaya mo magluto ng sarili mong pagkain, linisin ang bahay at isolve ang sarili mong mga problema nang hindi humihingi ng tulong sa iba, ikaw ay self-sufficient. So, it's about being independent. So, service means providing help or assistance to other. So, example, kung may kaibigang broken at tinutulungan mo mag-move on, matawag itong service. Doktor na gumagamot ng pasyente. Kapag ang store clerk helps you to find an item, it's all about service. It's about doing something beneficial for someone else. Third is self-view. The amount one earns could have an effect on how she view both himself, herself, and others. Class essentialism, the idea that differences between classes are based upon identity and genetics rather than circumstance. Poor people tend to believe that social class was not related to genes, that essentially anyone can be rich and anyone can be poor. So, in short, self-view refers to how a person perceives and thinks about themselves, including their abilities, worth, and position relative to others. So, example, kung mataas ang sweldo ng isang tao, isipin niyang mas may kakayahan siya at mas importante siya kumpara sa ibang mababa ang sahod. Fourth is ethics. Those who perceive themselves to be in higher class were the most likely to engage in unethical behavior, particularly when a symbol of wealth was introduced, such as cutting off a pedestrian in a luxury car, for example. Fifth in his study labeled the behavior self-interest maximization, an idea that suggests those who have the most money or occupy the higher class are more likely to take a what is in for me attitude. They actively work towards the most benefit for themselves. So, ethics are principles that guide what is right or wrong, shaping how people behave and take choice in life and relationships. So, example ng ethics. Halimbawa, may napultang wallet sa school nyo. Kinuha mo to hindi dahil para sa sarili mo. Dahil gusto mo itong ibalik sa may-ari. So, ginagawa mo ang tama kahit wala kang nakikita or nagsasabi sa'yo. Last is addiction. The fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. Many addictions begins because a person gets a positive response from a certain types of behavior. So, addiction defined as a condition where a person can stop using a substance or doing an activity even when it causes serious harm to their health, relationships, or life. So, halimbawa ng addiction is may isang tao na umiinom ng alak araw-araw. Kahit alam niyang nawawalan siya ng trabaho at nagkakaroon siya ng away sa pamilya niya dahil rito, hindi niya mapigilan ang sarili niya kahit na maraming masamang epekto sa kanyang buhay. Yan ay addiction sa alak. Matuturing natin na addiction. A compulsive behavior na motivated by dependency on an addictive substance, but rather by a process that leads to a seemingly positive outcome. This is called behavioral or process addiction. So, this is a compulsive habit not caused by substance dependency, but driven by a process that feels like it gives a positive result.
Possessions and the extended self. The premise that people regard their possessions are parts of themselves is not new. If possessions are viewed as part of self, it follows that unintentional loss or listing off. Mga pag-aari bilang bahagi ng sarili. Ang pangunahing ideya ay itinuturing ng mga taong kanilang mga pag-aari bilang ekstensyon ng kanilang sarili. Hindi ito bagong konsepto at ipinahihiwatig nito ng pagkawala o pagkabawas ng mga pag-aaring ito ay maaaring maramdaman bilang isang personal na kawalan o pagliit ng sarili. One of the first steps in receiving new members into these institutions to systematically deprive them of all personal possessions, including clothing, money, and even names. Pagkakait sa mga institusyon. Binibigyang diin ng teksto kung paano sadyang inaalis ng ilang institusyon tulad ng militar, bilangguan o ilang relihiyosong orden. Ang mga personal na pag-aari ng mga bagong miyembro, tulad ng damit, pera, pangalan, bilang isang pangunahing hakbang sa kanilang pagsasama, ang sistematikong pagkakait na ito ay malamang na nilayon upang bugawin ang individual na pagkakakilanlan at bumuo ng isang kolektibong pagkakakilanlan. Their bodies may be standardized to some degree as with military haircuts, and their behaviors and conservations may be severely restricted. Standardisasyon at paghihigpit upang higit na palakasin ang prosesong ito. Madalas na isinasagawa ng mga institusyong ito ang standardisasyon ng mga katawan, halimbawa gupit militar, at mahigpit na nililimitahan ng mga individual na pag-uugali at usapan. Layunin nitong higit pang bawasan ang personal na pagkakakilanlan at individual, kadalasan para sa layunin ng pagsunod o isang bagong pagkakakilanlan ng grupo. Are reissue standard wardrobes and minimal possessions to aid in rebuilding a new standard's identity. Standards identity through deprivation. It explains that when individuals are reissued standard wardrobes and minimal possession, it's often a method to help rebuild a new standard's identity. This is commonly seen in institutions like the military or cults, where personal identity is sacrificed for a collective one. Another instance in which no voluntary loss of possession may bring about a diminished sense of self is when possessions are lost due to death or casualty. Involuntary loss and diminished sense of self. The text points out that even an involuntary loss of possessions, such as through death or casualty, can lead to a diminished sense of self. This reinforces the idea that our possessions are deeply intertwined with our identity, and their loss can be a psychological blow. There is connection between wealth and well-being. A belief that feeds what Joliet Scar 1998 called the cycle of work and spend. Work more to buy more. Wealth, well-being, and the cycle of work and spend. A perceived connection between wealth and well-being. This belief follows that Joliet Scar 1998 termed the cycle of work and spend, where individuals feel compelled to work more to buy more, in an effort to achieve well-being, often through material acquisition. The level of consumption is set mainly by people's choices about how much to work and therefore how much to income. Pagkonsumo at kita. Nakasaad dito na ang antas ng pagkonsumo ng isang individual ay pangunahing tinutukoy ng kanilang mga pagpili kung gaano karaming trabaho ang gagawin. At bilang resulta, kung gaano karaming kita ang kikitain, ipinahihiwatig nito isang direktang relasyon. Mas maraming trabaho ay karaniwang nangangahulugan ng mas maraming kita na nagbibigay daan naman para sa mas maraming pagkonsumo. The individual choice between hours at work, which yield income, and leisure, good in itself, but a costly one because it entails foregoing income. Pagpapalit ng trabaho at paglilibang. Ang pagbabalansi ng oras na ginugol sa trabaho laban sa oras ng paglilibang, inilarawan ang paglilibang bilang isang kabutihan sa sarili nito. Ibig sabihin, mayroon itong likas na halaga, ngunit may kaakibat itong gastos dahil ang pagpiling paglilibang ay madalas na nangangahulugang pagtalikod sa posibleng kita na maaaring kinita sa pamamagitan ng pagtatrabaho. Ang konseptong ito ay isang pangunahing prinsipyo sa ekonomiya ng paggawa.
Special cases of external self. Number 1 is collection. Collection of the short may be intended by gifts or other unintended acquisition, but the cultivation of the collection is a purposeful, self-defining act. And bulk. Humans and animals once primarily assembled collections of necessities for future security, but today human more often assemble collection of non-necessities for distinction and self-definition. So is might refers how it sends itself influenced by external facts like social media, relationship or society expectation. Is that it? The level of Mason collecting has become a significant activity in our consumer society as it has become more widely affordable through the discretionary time and money available to the general population rather than just to the wealthy elite. So Mason is mas naging mahalaga gawin sa ating lipunan, and sa mga billionaire is mas naging nakikilala sila dahil doon. And Goldbridge and Lewis, many collectors who are inhibited and uncomfortable social interactions surround themselves with favor, object upon which they project human-like qualities. In this sense, collections may be seen as transition objects or security blankets for adults. So collections can act as security blankets for adults because they give comfort and a sense of safety. The item people collect may also reflect their interest and memories, which can become part of their identity. And to some extent, a compulsive tendencies urges them the increasing desire to collect as much as they could, which gives them a greater feelings of security and therefore become a basis of the sense of self and identity. And also it means that some people feels a strong urge to collect many things because it makes them feel more secure and satisfied as they collect more items. It can also become part of their identity, making them feel that's why they own reflect who they are. And that's all. Thank you.
As extended self. Pets are regarded commonly as representative of self and studies. How do we attempt to infer characteristics of people from their pets? Pets are often seen as part of who we are. Studies from way back show we even guess what a person is like based on their pet. Others have observed that, like people, pets are regarded as family members. Also, many people treat pets like full family members, which has been noted in multiple research studies over the years. In this regard, it is significant that we name our pets, feed and care for them, photograph them, spend money on them, and monitor them. It matters that we do all these things for our pets. Give them names, take care of them, take their photos, spend on them, and grieve when they pass away. This shows how important they are to us. Levinson, 1972, and Robin Binsel, 1985, found that pets are so instrumental to self-identity that they are often useful as translation objects for children and as surrogate children for adults. Studies also found pets play a big part in who we see ourselves as. For kids, they can act like stand-in parents. For adults, they can be like stand-in children. Body parts. Body parts are among the most central parts of the extended self. Our body parts are a really important part of the extended self, the things that feel like part of us. In psychoanalytical terms, such self-extension is called catexis. Catexis involves that charging of an object, activity, or idea with emotional energy to the individual. In psychology, when we put a lot of emotional focus on something like a body part, it's called catexis. The most commonly has been applied to body parts, and it is known, for instance, the women generally tend to catech body parts to a greater than men, and that such catexis reflects self-acceptance. This is most often seen with body parts. For example, women usually put more emotional energy into their body parts than men do, and this shows how much they accept themselves. When a body part is more highly cateched, there is greater use grooming products to care for this part of the body. The more emotional focus we put on a body part, the more we tend to use grooming product to take care of it.
Csikszentmihalyi and Rockberg-Halton, 1981, proposed the seemingly identical concept of psychic energy investment to describe the process of identification with possessions of any type. Since we are permanently attached to our body parts, these body parts are expected to be more strongly connected than materials possession that can be more easily acquired and discarded. The material itself refers to all of the physical elements that reflect who are a person, in which include his, her body, possession, and home. The body is innermost part of the material. So, in 1981, two researchers, Csikszentmihalyi and Rockberg-Halton, talk about how we put our mental emotion energy into things we own or identify with. We're always connected to our body parts, so we can care more deeply about them that we do about physical things. We can easily get them replaced. So the material self is all the physical stuff that shows who we are. This includes our body, the things we own, and our home. Our body is the most important, innermost part of this material itself. The family, home, and clothes also form a person's material self. So meaning, a person's material self isn't just about their body and personal things. It also includes their family, home, and even the clothes they wear. Next is, furthermore, practical interest of a person is part of his/her material self, which include the instinctive impulse of collecting property. So, meaning, additionally, the practical things someone cares about count too. This includes our natural urge to gather or collect belongings, like how some people love collecting stamps, books, or other items. Materialism refers to the theory or belief that nothing exists except matter, its movements and modifications. The theory or belief that consciousness and will are wholly due to material agency. A tendency to consider material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. So, materialism has two main meanings. So, first, the idea that only physical matters exist. Things like thoughts and choices come from physical process in our bodies. Second is caring more about having things like money or nice stuff and physical comfort than about spiritual or non-material values. A person is defined not by what he thinks but by what he owns. So meaning instead of who someone is in the inside, their thoughts, their belief, their identities is seen as being shaped by the things they have. Next is shopping is an expressive and constitutive essential act from Kroger. So shopping isn't just about buying things. It's a way to show you who you are and even helps build your sense of self. Last is understanding shopping is important in determining race and culture, gender, class, family, and community by Belk 2016. So meaning the way people shop can tell us about different groups, like what makes their culture unique, how gender roles play out, what social class someone is in, and how families or communities connect.